Welcome back. My name is Mr. Clement, and we are fall of 2020 and talking about the virtual learner overview for a class called Computer Applications. This is taken by all freshmen fall of their freshman year, so we'll have some new ideas to cover with you, things that are a little different from how you were learning things in middle school, not better or worse, just a little different. We're looking at those students who are starting out the year as virtual learners. We're talking about, hey, what if I'm able to start in person, but for some odd reason I need to go become a virtual learner? We'll cover both ends of the spectrum for you. We'll start out with our platform on how we're going to deliver information. One of the biggest ways we're going to get that to you is a program called Schoology. Now, when you were in middle school, you used Google Classroom. It's not better, it's not worse, it's just a different version. All of the high school is using Schoology, so this is not something you will be unfamiliar with after you get done with your fall of freshman year. But this is the platform we're going to use for everybody. We'll take a look at our weekly planning, our daily assignments, our course information. We'll have our topic folders, and we'll look at uploading assignments and some formative and summative assessments. So let's start out with our weekly planning. We're going to have a rough draft of where we think next week is going to go. And we'll have that up and posted by Friday afternoon so that you can get an idea, hey, here's what I'm going to need to get accomplished in my 5 days next week. Over the weekend, through grading, homework, whatever that is, I'll firm that up, and I would suggest you recheck it Monday morning, see if anything's changed, as this is subject to change, but it's a good ballpark plan of where we're going. Let's take a look at that. So you are going to have the ability to log into this platform called Schoology, and you will see a course called Computer Applications. In theory, as a freshman, you're only going to have 5 of these buttons, each one corresponding to the course that you're taking. When you click on the Computer Applications, this is what it should look like. Now, this is my whole complete course as of today, September 1. Some of these folders I will be hiding from you, so if you're asking why does that look a little different, why does it show up on Mr. Clem's page, but maybe it doesn't show up on mine, sometimes I don't need to show you everything out there. We'll show you the things that you absolutely have to have. First one here is our weekly planning slide. When you click on this link here, it will pop up with a Google Slides page, and it'll give you a ballpark plan of what we're going to do. If you look over here in the upper right-hand corner, you're going to see a little box with an arrow pointed towards the upper right. If you click that, that's going to start up its own new tab and make it a little bit easier to see and read. So here's our plan, September 8th through September 11th, week 1. No school for Labor Day, class expectations, we're talking note-taking and file maintenance, professional correspondence, MCIS ramp-up, digital citizenship, and some more professional correspondence. This is our plan for the first week. As we get going, things could go faster or a little slower, so it may change, but ballpark here is our plan. Again, Friday before I take off, September 11th, I'll put another tab up here that'll say September, 13th to the 18th, and it'll be the ballpark plan for next week. Again, come back, and I would check it Monday morning to see if anything has changed, but that's kind of our ballpark plan. So this is our weekly planning tab. Next idea is something called daily assignments. This is at the end of each class period, whether they be first, fourth, or fifth hour, I will go back in and I'll list out all the things we did in detail. Our weekly planning is kind of what big major topics are we going to cover, what kind of big things do you see, you know whether you've got a test at the end of the week. Here is more of a detailed breakout of what are we actually going to do every single day of the trimester. I have third hour prep, so by third hour, I should have first hours updated. And then by the end of the day, I will have my fourth and fifth period computer apps updated as well. So you should be able to check that out, see where we're going. So let's take a look at daily assignments. It's a button here called Daily Tasks, Fall 2020. Again, it's going to pop up as a Google Sheets. You go to that button in the upper right, that little square with the arrow coming out the upper right side, and it'll pull it up as its own tab. So here is our day-to-day plan, and I will add in homework and assignments and all the stuff we actually cover. If you look at the bottom of this Google Sheets, I have tabs from past years. Here's what a completed one would look like. All right, so day one, Google Slides, welcome to the class, tour the Media Center, Tech Department, log into Chrome, so on and so forth. Obviously, in our new environment here with COVID, some things are different. Some things are still the same. But if you wanted to check out what we have done in the past to look at kind of a pacing of the course, tabs on the bottom will help you do that. All right, so that was weekly planning and daily assignments. Now we're on to course information. Third option down, I got a blue folder here called Course Information. Here's where I'm going to have our Google Doc version of our daily assignments. I also have it as a PDF format. When you take a look at this, it's going to cover all the things you need to worry about as far as the course goes, the course syllabus. Course name, instructor, classroom, prep hour, email. Here is our course description and overview. I'm going to let you read that on your own. I'm not going to read that to you. Here is our course learning objectives. What are you going to be able to do by the time we're done with the class? Course resources, folder, notebook, pen, pencil, and your Chromebook. Here is our grading system. This is a standard class. So a 93.0 is going to be an A, just like it would in English 9A or welding or personal finance. Right? 60.0 is what you need to get through the class. This is a required class. You need to pass it to graduate. If for some odd reason you don't, you would then be expected to take it again next year in the fall. We offer this only in the fall. Here are our major course contents that we're going to cover. Here it talks about our coursework. Minimum grade is, again, that 60% D minus. We do not offer extra credit in the course. We have due dates for things. If things are late, you'll receive up to half credit for something that's 1 week late. If you turn it in 2 weeks late, then we're not going to give you any credit for it. And again, you're responsible for your grade, knowing the due dates. This is your learning. You're the one responsible for knowing when things are due. We talk about our course policies, absences, tardiness, personal devices. This is more for the in-class learner. But if you're a virtual learner that starts outside and eventually maybe you come back to the classroom, it's still good information for you to know. Cheating and plagiarism, again, a very big thing here. That's not something we take lightly. It hasn't happened often. Unfortunately, I have had a student who made some poor choices, and that student, cheated the first time. They got a 0 on a test. It was a pretty big test. They made that poor choice again to try and get themselves caught up, and they failed the course and had to take it again. So my advice is don't do that. And here are and these are district-wide, our COVID-19 kind of expectations. If for some odd reason we go into distance learning, what are the expectations of you and myself? If we go out of the full board in class, we go to hybrid learning, what are the expectations of you? And specifically, you're going to want to read the expectations here of our virtual learners. Okay, I'm not going to read that to you. I'm going to let you do that on your own. In that same course information, we have our daily schedule. So when class starts, we start at 8:07. One of the things I will do is I will start up a Google Meet and I would email that to all of the people who are virtually learning. You have the ability to then log in and watch class from home, and you'll be able to see that in real time. I will also hit the record button and record that lecture. And I'm not going to record 60 straight minutes of class if we're not actually lecturing for 60 straight minutes. I don't know why I'd want to do that. We'll record the 15, 20, 30 minutes of whatever the instruction or lecture would be. We would end that, and we would then put that onto Schoology, right? It may not happen immediately. That may take some time. Like I said, if you're a virtual learner first hour, there's a good chance I could get it up and ready for you by third hour. Maybe you have an appointment first hour and you're going to miss class that day. Again, if you can be an in-person student or a virtual student and you still have dentist appointments, you got a dentist appointment, you miss class, that's where you would go find the information. A question, and again, we're putting a lot of the onus on you as a student. But Mr. Clem, I wasn't there the day you taught that. I'm going to provide where those resources are. You're going to be responsible for finding that out, and you're still responsible for that information. As always, if you ever have a question about that, hey, Mr. Clem, I was gone the day you taught MLA reports. Can you help me? Absolutely, I will help you. Okay. 2 minutes before you take the test is not the time to ask that question. But you're gone the day we're teaching it, by all means, get a hold of me, shoot an email. I'll gladly help you out. But again, think about those things ahead of time, not 2 minutes before you're taking the test. It's probably not the right time to answer that. All right. Other options we're looking at here, you'll see some of our blue folders that are going to be topic-based. Here's note-taking. So here's where we would see some slides, maybe the Google slides for note-taking, where you could scroll through these, whether you're a virtual learner, whether you're a learner who is in class and yet you want to look at these items again. Maybe you didn't get a chance to take them down in notes. Maybe your notes were a little sloppy. Here's where you can find that. We would also have, a video on note-taking, right? So here's Mr. Clem. We'll wait till our YouTube video pops through here. And here would be the video on that instruction as well. I would suggest reading the PowerPoints first before I watch the video. Some of you like the video before that, but that would be my preferred method. We have one on digital citizenship and security. This is stuff we're going to cover on Fridays, so we have lots of information there. We'll look at professional correspondence. Again, this is talking email mostly, but it could be memos or business letters as well. One of our main topics is going to be Microsoft Word and or Google Docs. And here are our main content. A lot of what we're showing you is how to create documents that you're going to need either in a class here at the high school or in a work setting. So MLA reports. We're going to show you the formatting and how to write an MLA report the way your English teachers are going to want it done. We're going to show you how to write a full block business letter to send off as a cover letter to a potential business. We're going to show you how to create a resume. Here we also have places where we have our exams. You'll notice these kind of looks like a piece of paper with a pencil on it. Here's a place where you would upload a homework assignment that you've typed either Google Doc-wise or Microsoft Word-wise. Here, this little green puzzle piece would be where you take a quiz, right? It'll ask, multiple choice, true, false kind of questions. So this is one way we will assess your knowledge of what we're doing here. All right, I'm going to head back here. I accidentally closed out my slideshow. Get back to our virtual learning. So weekly planning, daily assignments, course information, topics folders. So again, lecture notes where applicable, instructional videos, recordings of the lectures after the fact. So again, you look at your daily assignments. It said we created an MLA report. Well, you then need to know that, hey, I need to go to the Word folder, and then I go to MLA report, and there's going to be my video recording of the lecture that day. Potentially starting files for some of our homework assignments, where we turn in homework assignments and where we upload things. So our course topics, we touched on this a little bit. Microsoft Word and Google Docs are going to be a very large part of computer applications. Microsoft Excel and Google Sheets is another large part of it. Professional correspondence, digital citizenship and security, career readiness and a ramp-up program. We may or may not get to Microsoft PowerPoint and Google Slides. As we wrap up here, kind of our overview for computer applications, some keys to success. Two big ones. First one, for our virtual learners who are starting the year off at home, you need to make sure you keep pace with the class. Waiting for the end of the week to try and get a ton of work done in a short period of time is going to make life difficult for you. We're going to have due dates that you're expected to turn things in, and that's on you to get that figured out. Second thing is make sure you ask questions. So if you are having a challenge because you're not sure where to find something, how to find something, what exactly is expected of you, ask ahead of time. Don't wait till just before you're taking a test. And how come I got an F in the class? How come I don't have any homework assignments done? I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. That's going to be a challenge for you. I'm here for you. Ask questions and I will gladly help you out. But unless you ask, I don't know what you're struggling with. So, as always, if you have questions, don't be shy, and we will get going with fall 2020. Have a good rest of your day.